All right. This week we are going to make meatloaf. And meatloaf has no alcohol in it, so there will be no alcohol in this week's episode. This is a blend right now I'm drinking of Earl Grey and green and white fusion teas, which is very good because I'm trying to cut back on the coffees. I have whipped eggs, 2 of them. I have 3 small onions that are already diced. I have green peppers that are diced. When we get our green peppers on sale, because you know sometimes you go to the grocery store, green peppers are just outrageous. We'll get a bunch of them, clean them, dry them, dice them, and freeze them. And they work perfectly good for things like this. Now, if you want something that's going to be crunchy, like a salad or something, then yes, you're going to need a fresh one. But for a meatloaf where it's going to bake anyhow, you're not going to lose that much flavor or taste with the frozen. And plain breadcrumbs. So in addition to that, we're going to have some parsley, some white pepper. I'm really liking the white pepper. And garlic powder, because once again I'm trying to save on the regular garlic. Now for the meatloaf, I only use the 80-20 ground chuck for it. 75-25 is good for hamburgers and stuff like that, but I really don't like a lot of heavy grease in the meatloaf. We also do our meatloaf in the crock pot. Takes a little bit longer, but the crock pot has a nice little handy thing in it that keeps the grease out, so it makes it much easier to do. And I'm going to turn that to warm so it's getting ready. Let me get the hamburger out. Alrighty. And this is an 80-20 ground chuck. And once again, I love the Manager's Specials. I got it for $3.29 a pound, and got it last night. I'm using it today. Absolutely no difference between that and the $5.99 a pound stuff that's sale every day. However, due to the fact that I'm going to be doing some mixing, I'm going to wear an apron. I don't normally wear an apron, but I've got a ton of them to pick from. So, one of the ladies at work gave me. I fish, therefore I drink. Alrighty. Especially since I'm using raw beef, I like to have an apron on that I'm... Alright, so I'm gonna flip this into here. And I'll set that in with the bleach water to clean up. Alright. So, white pepper, parsley, and garlic. Now, I've also got for dinner, we're going to have got potatoes that I've sliced, diced, and have in water already. I also have, for me, a baked potato. And the reason for that is I don't think there's going to be enough potatoes for leftovers for Andy. Very simple, you just pour everything in there. Now I add the breadcrumbs last because sometimes you don't need as much breadcrumbs, but you'll know by consistency. If you can make a ball and throw it from one hand to the other without it just totally splattering all over, then you're good to go. Okay. And basically all a meatloaf is a baked hamburger. I mean, you're not using that much. And you want to make sure that your onions and your peppers are getting thoroughly mixed. My bleach water. think it's going to take quite as much of that as I measured out. Okay. And the super secret ingredient. Which none of you will talk about. Oh, that's what I forgot. lea&perrins. Now you can get Worcestershire sauce. That is okay, but some things you've got to go and check the labels. The lea&perrins is all natural. Some of the other ones have some chemicals in them that scientists can't pronounce, which is part of the reason why they're, $2 cheaper. Some things you just have to spend some money on, which is why you save money other places, so that when you come across those things that you really need to spend the money on, you get it to spend. All right. So, clean my hands real quick so I can move you over and let you see. See? Basically just blending the items in there. Now, this is going to go into the crock pot on the grill, on the grate in there. And then I'm going to switch it to high. Now, what you couldn't see that I was doing was once you flip it over, we make a little trough in the very top of it. You know what? I keep forgetting I can move you because you're on the tripod now. And then you can see what I mean. I hope. You make a little trough, and the reason we do that is so that when it's done and we're actually adding the, oh, I guess you gotta go back up over here. Adding the sauce to it, some of the sauce has a place to sit so that it'll bake down through. Now, we're using Hunt's sauce today. You can use whatever. So the sauce is sauce. I mean, Hunt's is all natural, so trying to cut out as many of those other things out of your life as possible. Get the Hunt's or any other all natural product, or get your own tomatoes and dice them in the summertime. I mean, you can always do that, because basically that's just a puree. I use the KitchenAid sometimes in the summertime to we've got the grinder to grind some stuff out, and sometimes it's not a bad way to save some stuff. So that's going in on high, and it'll go on high for 2 hours. Set my timer. I don't have a timer on my crock pot. Although Randy saw one of the ones on one of those infomercials where you set it in there and it's a pressure crock pot microwave. It does everything for 19 easy payments of $4,000 a payment. But this one I like better than the one we had, which cracked. I mean, it just cracked. And the simple reason for that is it locks down, but it has a pressure escape. So pressure gets too high, you're not going to crack anything with the lockdown. It also means you get good smells through the house. So that down, that's on high. I just have to clean up, and then we'll deal with the potatoes and the meatloaf when it's more done. Take pictures along the way. Trying to think what else. Oh, somebody's going to ask, why are your potatoes sitting in water already? Well, I've got them in garlic and salt water because we try not to add any salt later. And it's not very much, but it's kosher rock salt. So the more I can let them sit in that garlic, the better they're going to taste later on. But don't worry, they're not going to be there the whole time. All right, thanks, and we'll see you in a little bit.